Well, definitely. Who wouldn't? I mean, if you have a boat, that means your social status is very high. Everybody would think that you are a rich person. But unfortunately, in my city, there's only one river that runs across the city. And if you want to use a boat, that means you have to get your boat into that river. But unfortunately, you need to get a permit to put a boat into the river. That won't be an easy job. So even if I really want to buy a boat, it wouldn't be possible for me to use it. That's the tricky reality.
Do you like going boating? For sure, I like it, as it's a beautiful and enjoyable way to see some city or area for just enjoy the scenery that passes by. Have you ever traveled by boat? Dozen times, I guess. Boating is perfect way for me to unwind and reconnect in the natural environment. So yeah, I always try to go on a boat trip while traveling near the water. Would you like to have your own boat? Oh yeah, I would do it with pleasure. I think it's an excellent investment and also a great fun and one of the best way to draw a family together. Is boat trip popular in your country? No, not really, because China's railway system is so advanced that most people under most conditions will choose it over boat traveling. But the sightseeing by boat on Yangtze River is a fun journey for many. Do you often travel by boat? Actually, I would say yes. Taking a boat is like indispensable transport in my daily life because I live in a waterby place in the southwest of China, which is just like the Venice. We go everywhere by boat since the all the houses and facilities are built above water, so there are no so-called roads. Speaking of traveling to another place, I don't really have any alternative but taking a boat.
Do you like boats? Actually, I love boats. Boating is something that I've loved ever since I've been a child. When I was a child, my favorite toy was a boat, and as an adult, I still love them.
Have you ever traveled by boat?
Yes, I've been on a few cruises actually in the Caribbean. Well, I wouldn't I would call them more large ships than boats, but yes, I have, and I've also been on smaller lakes, inland lakes, with a lot of different boats.
Would you like to have your own boat?
Actually, I do own three boats actually. Um, One is a little larger boat that can take about 8 people very comfortably for a nice day on the lake. I also have a small canoe, which is wonderful for the small lakes and rivers. And I also have a small sport kayak, which is just a single seat that is also very enjoyable.
Is boat trip popular in your country?
Yes, yes. Boating in general is very, very popular in my country. Uh, when the weekend comes after a long week of work, most people leave the cities with their boats to head for the lakes.
Have you ever traveled by boat? Yes, I have. It was 2 years ago when I was on my summer holiday at the trip to Beihai, a coastal city of Guangxi province. And during the trip, I took a boat to a small island which is on the sea near the Beihai. That's the first time I took a boat. Do you like boats? Yes, I do. I have some special feelings about boating. When I rode a boat on a lake with my folks or with a few friends, it's super relaxing and pleasurable. I just feel as if I was sitting or standing on the water and I want to sing songs. It's very enjoyable. Would you like to have your own boat? Yeah, definitely. It would be fantastic if I could have a boat of my own. I could always go boating somewhere with my folks and my friends. We could fish and chat together on a boat. Is poetry popular in the country? No, I don't think so, because poetry is rather time consuming. When we take a boat to another city, we usually need to be on it for quite a few days, and people are not allowed to go boating on their own in some water area. Although There are lots of lakes and rivers in our country.
What have you ever done by boat? I can do a lot of things on boats, such as fishing, painting, dating, or just taking pictures of the view or having picnics with your friends. Actually, I think it's kind of relaxing for me to do anything on boat. It just gives you a good move and relax your pressure. Where can people in your hometown go for boating? Usually, people in my hometown go rolling in the park. In Guangzhou, almost every park have a lake, and it's just like essential factors for a park for it, and I feel it is best place to go when you want boating, and it's safe, and as the views and scenery no, no, and the scenery there are so good. Do you like boating, or why do you like or dislike it? Well, actually, I like it. In fact, it's really relaxing when I'm on boats, feeling all the fucking things blowing through my hair. It is a peaceful and quiet on boats when I'm all by myself.
Well, I have to confess that I'm really easy to get seasick. But I had been on safari when I was around 12 years old, I guess. That trip took me around 50 minutes, but I felt it was like 10 years long. I felt there were thousands of butterflies in my stomach, and and well, I didn't throw up, but it was definitely uncomfortable. It was the last thing I want to do on Earth. After that, I have never had any boat trip anymore. Is Boattrip popular in your country? Well, for those who are rich and don't get seasick very easily, yes. I guess the boat trip allow people to have a different view of the world. It can offer the perfect view of city scenery or the mountain scenery, but for the rest, including me, I don't think so.
Well, actually, I haven't done anything like that before. Actually, I'm not the type of person that's pretty good at swimming. As you probably know, I'm a bit scared of water, seriously, like the river or the sea, as the fear of water definitely drives me crazy in most cases. Apparently, I don't like to give the try of traveling by boat or such, but in the future, I'm willing to learn how to be like a good swimmer and overcome the problems of the fear. The fear of water, what I mean is like that. So this is like kind of my point. So that's it.
Have you ever traveled by boat? Yes, of course. I've been to many coastal cities where boating is a common way of traveling. And also, I've traveled by some fancy cruises to other countries like Japan and Korea. And each boat trip has left me a great and deep impression. Do you like boats? Well, it's hard to say if I like it or not. I see boats as a way of transportation, but not like cars or bikes. It is something I can use in my daily life. If I have a chance to travel by boat, I will take it. However, I have never been longing to ride a boat. Would you like to have your own boat? Actually, no. Since I live in inland part of China, I seldom have chances to ride a boat. Besides, boats need daily maintenance, which is something I don't think I'm capable of. So to me, owning a boat is more of the trouble than the pleasure.
Is Boattrip popular in your country? It depends on different areas, actually. In some coastal cities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Sanya, boating is quite popular since there are rivers, lakes, or sea. But in most of the inland cities like Beijing, Xi'an, and Chengdu, and so on, it is not quite popular. Instead, people use buses, subways, and bikes more often for daily commute.
Okay, here we go on the topic of boats. And the first question, do you want to own a boat? Let's have a listen to this response.
Well, definitely. Who wouldn't? I mean, if you have a boat, that means your social status is very high, and everybody would think that you are a rich person. But unfortunately, in my
Okay, so I like the structure here. He starts off by giving us the answer, so definitely yes, and then he gives a reason why. It gives you a high social status, but then he also approaches it from the opposite side. He gives the counterpoint, so there are some disadvantages to this also. It's a good structure to follow, considering the other side of the issue, not just the side that you believe in.
rich person, but unfortunately in my city there's only one river that runs across the city, and if you want to use a boat, that means you
No, I'm not sure that rivers run across cities. A river can run through a city, but not across it.
have to get your boat into that river. But unfortunately, you need to get a permit to put a boat into the river.
Permit's a good word to use when you talk about boats.
That won't be an easy job. So even if I really want to buy a boat, it wouldn't be possible.
Just here, so even if I really wanted to buy a boat, it wouldn't be possible. This should be wanted.
For me to use it. That's the tricky reality.
He sounds kind of depressed about it.
Do you like going boating? For sure, I like it, as it's a beautiful and enjoyable way to see some city or area.
Wow, she really sounds alive. All right.
For just enjoy the scenery that passes by.
Now, hang on a second here. Let's see here. It's an enjoyable way to see some city or area. What? It's a good way to see, so also, or to just enjoy. So we need another to here to go with this verb. To just enjoy.
Just enjoy the scenery that passes by. Have you ever traveled by boat? Dozen times, I guess.
Okay, for dozens, we need to say dozens of times, I guess.
Boating is perfect way for me to unwind and
Okay, ways are countable, so boating is the perfect way, or maybe but the would be better. And this word is unwind.
and reconnect in the natural environment.
This is a little bit unclear. Reconnect with what? And also, why is it reconnect? Why not just connect? Anyway, it doesn't matter. If you say reconnect or connect, you have to say with what? What are you connecting with? And why is it the natural environment? Is she talking about a specific natural environment? I think it should be in a natural environment.
So yeah, I always try to go on a boat trip while traveling near the water.
Okay, this idea of summarizing your answer, if it's a very short answer like this, do we need a summary? No, we don't. You're just going to say the same thing twice.
Try to go on a boat trip while traveling near the water. Would you like to have your own boat? Oh yeah, I would do it with pleasure. I think it's an excellent investment.
This is kind of an interesting way to think about boating. Think about buying a boat as an investment.
And also a great fun. And
The fun is not countable, so also great fun.
one of the best way to draw a family together.
Draw a family together? Why don't we say bring? So it's one of the best ways to bring a family together.
Is boat trip popular in your country?
I don't know why this is singular. There should be are boat trips popular in your country, not trips.
No, not really, because China's railway system it's so advanced
Surely this should be just is. It is so advanced.
that most people under most conditions will choose it over boat traveling.
Will goes with the infinitive, so this should be will choose it.
But the sightseeing by boat on Yangtze River is a fun journey for many.
Oh, okay, what happened here? Sightseeing, I guess? Why is it the? This is not a tangible noun. This is not something you can touch. So usually there would be no article. So sightseeing by boat on, I don't know if she said the Yangtze River or the Yachts River. I can't make it out.
Fun journey for many. Do you often travel by boat? Actually, I would say yes. Taking a boat is like indispensable transport in my daily life because I live in a waterby place in the southwest of China.
I live in a place by water in the southwest of China. Taking a boat is like indispensable transport. Yeah, I've never heard anyone say that, but I guess it's not wrong.
West of China, which is just like the Venus. We go
Venus is a planet. The city is Venice.
everywhere by boat since all the houses and facilities are built above water.
I think she's trying to say it's built on water. Above water. It's built above the water? But then how is it staying up? Is it floating on water?
So there are no so-called roads.
Okay, first of all, it's roads. There's a d sound. So-called roads? If you say so-called, it means this is a name that a lot of people use for this object, but you don't think it should have this name. I'm not sure it's appropriate in this situation.
Speaking of traveling to another place,
No one is speaking of that. You're the only one. You can't use this phrase speaking of when you are the one talking about this topic. You only use this when someone else is talking about a topic. And then you want to say something related to that.
traveling to another place, I don't really have any alternative but taking a boat.
Do you like boats?
Actually, I love boats. Boating is something that I've loved ever since I've been a child.
Ever since I've been a child? Do you mean the process is not finished? Ever since I was a child.
When I was a child, my favorite toy was a boat, and as an adult, I still love them.
Kind of short, but hey.
Have you ever traveled by boat?
Yes, I've been on a few cruises, actually.
Okay, cruises. So maybe here we can expect him to use the word cruise ship.
In the Caribbean, well, I wouldn't call them more large ships than boats.
Wait, what? I wouldn't call them more large ships than boats. What? I don't understand what that means.
In the Caribbean, well, I wouldn't call them more large ships than boats.
Maybe he wants to say I would call them ships rather than boats. I would call them ships rather than boats.
But yes, I have, and I've also been on smaller lakes, inland lakes, with a lot of different boats.
So why not mention the kinds of boats?
Would you like to have your own boat?
Actually, I do own 3 boats, actually.
It's a lot of actuallys.
One is a little larger boat that can take about 8 people.
Alright, this is good. Saying the boat can take 8 people. I mean, it has the same meaning as the boat can carry 8 people, or it has seating for 8 people.
Very comfortably for a nice day.
And also the adverb going with the take. Take 8 people comfortably.
Day on the lake. I also have a small canoe.
Okay, so it's a specific term related to the topic of boats, canoe.
which is wonderful for the small lakes and rivers. And I also have a small sport kayak,
Kayak, another word related to boating that he's using.
which is just a single seat that
Now, if a if a boat can carry one person, it's a single seater. Single seater. There's an ER there.
is also very enjoyable.
Is Boattrip popular in your country?
Why is this singular? Are boat trips popular in your country?
Yes. Boating in general is very, very popular in my country. When the weekend comes after a long week of work, most people leave the cities with their boats
Is this true? I wonder what kind of place this guy lives in.
to head for the lakes.
It's good that he says to head to the lakes instead of just saying go to the lakes. But I didn't really develop this answer very well.
Travel by boat? Yes, I have. It was 2 years ago when I was on my summer holiday at the trip to Beihai.
Okay, why is this not past tense? I took a trip, I went on a trip.
At the trip to Beihai, a coastal city of Guangxi province.
Okay, for provinces, there's no the. So, a coastal city of Guangxi province.
During the trip, I took a boat to a
No, wait a second. What? During the trip,
Guangxi province. During the trip, I took a boat.
Actually, I think this is not right. I don't think he actually said am. I don't think he said I'm. I think he just said I. I took a boat. Okay, let's change that.
A coastal city of Guangxi province. During the trip, I took a boat to a small island which is on the sea near
The island on the sea. Surely it's in the sea.
the Beihai.
Now, this is the name of a city? Oh yeah, he said it's a city. Alright, so cities, no the. So it's an island in the sea near Beihai. Now what did he say for near? Let's listen to that again.
To a small island which is on the sea near the Beihai. That's the first time I took a boat.
Yeah, especially for Chinese speakers, be careful of that adding that sound to the ends of words like nearer. It ends in a consonant sound. There's no
Do you like boats? Yes, I do. I have some special feelings about boating when I rode a boat on the lake with my folks or with.
Okay, wait a second. There's too much slurring going on here. It's difficult to hear what he's saying. Like somewhat. And then when I rode a boat on this something with my folks, it is nice that he uses the word folks instead of parents, but it's so difficult to make out what he's saying.
Boating when I rode a boat on the lake with my folks or with a few friends, it's super relaxing and pleasurable.
I don't know what this is. I don't know what he's saying there. It's just if there are that many words that the examiner cannot make out, you're not going to get more than a 5 for pronunciation.
I just feel as if I was sitting or standing on the water and I want to sing songs.
Okay, I guess some people want to sing when they're on a boat.
It's very enjoyable.
It was very enjoyable.
Would you like to have your own boat? Yeah, definitely. It would be fantastic if I could have a boat of my own. I could always go boating somewhere with my folks and my friends. We could fish and chat together on a boat.
There's nothing wrong with this answer. Yeah, maybe if you don't have a lot to say about boats, say something similar to this.
Is poetry popular in the country?
But don't say anything like that. What is this word? This is a new word. There's no word like poetry. It sounds like a mixture of boating and poetry.
Poetry popular in the country? No, I don't think so. Because poetry is rather time consuming.
Time.
When we take a boat to another city, we usually need to be on it for quite a few days.
Okay, so this guy is missing consonants in some of his words. Quite.
And people are not allowed to go boating on their own in some water area.
If it's... Hang on a second. Did he say on or did he say in?
Quite a few days. And people are not allowed to go boating on their own in some water area. Although
So in some water areas are countable.
there are lots of lakes and rivers in our country.
Okay. So this is a bit of a longer answer. This grammar isn't super complicated. The vocabulary is pretty basic. There aren't that many mistakes. The worst part is the pronunciation. So it's like a mid-level response, nothing too fancy. This is kind of a weird question. What have you ever done by boat? What do people usually do?
What have you ever done by boat? I can do a lot of things on boats.
On boats. Yeah, but the question is not what can you do. The question is what have you done? They're not asking about what's possible. They're asking what you did in the past.
I can do a lot of things on boats, such as fishing, painting,
People paint on boats.
dating, or just taking pictures of the whale or
Whales, I think. Whales. Plural, whales.
having picnics with your friends.
More mumbling. What is this word? Having a picnic. Do people do that on boats? What?
Actually, I think kind of relaxing.
Okay, we need a verb here. Actually, I think it. So not a... Yeah. Also, we need an object. Actually, I think it is kind of relaxing.
For me to do anything on boats.
Anything. I think she means on a boat, not from boats.
It just gives you a good move and relax your pressure.
It's mood, not move. Relax your pressure? No, it cannot. It can relieve your pressure. You can relax, but your pressure is not being relaxed. You are relaxing.
Where can people in your hometown go for boating? Usually people in my hometown go rolling in the park.
Wow, she really stresses. She really stresses park, but it's park. There's a r sound. And also park, not pack.
You know, in Guangzhou, almost every park have a lake,
Almost every park has a lake.
and it's just like essential factors for a park.
Again with the stress. Okay, maybe she feels strongly about this, but I don't really understand how there being a lake in the park is a factor. Maybe she means like the lake is an essential. Maybe she means like the lake is an essential part of the park, or it's an essential feature for parks. Maybe people who live, where does she live? Guangzhou. Maybe people who live in Guangzhou feel like if there's no lake, it's not really a park. So then it will be an essential feature, but not a factor.
For a park. For it.
Why do we need this for it there?
For it. And
the second for it.
I feel it is best place to go.
It is the best place to go.
When you want boating and it's safe, and as the views and scenery, and the scenery.
Okay, the scenery, right. I don't really understand why I don't really understand why she used the word safe. Are there dangerous views or dangerous scenery? It's safe as the views and scenery are so good. What does that have to do with safety? Of what?
Scenery. And the scenery there are so good. Do you like boating, or why do you like or dislike it?
Okay, again, the question is just going to be, do you like boating? There's no why or why not. They're not going to put two questions together at once.
Well, actually, I like it, in fact.
Well, actually, I like it. Well, actually, and in fact, have very similar meanings. So how about we choose one of them? Don't put the two together.
It's really relaxing when I'm on boat.
We need a verb here. When I go on a boat,
You know, feeling all the fucking things through rolling through my hair. It's
what is happening here?
It is a peaceful and quiet on boat when I'm
I don't know what happened with the hair. Be careful of the sound at the end of words.
all by myself.
I don't know what. I don't know. Have you ever traveled by boat? I think there are like 3 of these questions.
Well, I have to confess that I'm really easy to get seasick.
Oh, hang on a second. What kind of confession is this? People usually confess when they've done something wrong. Getting sick is not doing anything wrong. Confess is not the right word here. And also the grammar, I easily get seasick. The easily should be describing the verb get. So I get seasick easily, or I easily get seasick.
But I have been on the ferry when I was around 12 years old.
Alright, and this is something specific that happened in the past. So I went on a ferry. Not the ferry, not the ferry, a ferry. Because you don't say which ferry it is. And it's a specific event in the past that's finished, so we just need the past tense. But I went on a ferry.
I guess.
Okay, well, he's not sure.
You know, that trip took me around 50 minutes, but I felt it was like 10 years long. I felt there were thousands
Okay, so he has a problem here with his pronunciation.
of butterflies in my stomach. And
I do like this idiom about butterflies in your stomach. That's a good way of saying you're nervous.
well, I didn't throw up, but it was definitely uncomfortable.
Why is there a but here? That doesn't make sense. So, I had butterflies in my stomach. I threw up, but it was uncomfortable. There's no contrast here. Why is there a but?
Definitely uncomfortable. It was the last thing I want to do on Earth.
Okay, it was the last thing I wanted. Wanted.
Thing I want to do on Earth.
I do like this on Earth part. So if it's like something you really, really, really hate, or something you really don't want to do, use this phrase.
After that, I have never had any boat trip anymore.
I have never had any boat trip anymore. After that, I never went on a boat again. That's what he should be saying. Or that was my last boat trip.
Is boat trip popular in your country?
Again, it should be plural. Are boat trips.
Well, for those who are rich and don't get seasick very easily.
Good point. Here he gets it right. Don't get seasick very easily. Adverb, verb.
Yes, I guess a boat trip allow people to have a different view of the world.
Okay, so this is a singular noun, but the verb doesn't agree with it. It should be boat trip allows. Well, actually, it should be boat trips allow. But if you're going to say boat trip, there should be an S there, right?
Words, you know, it can offer the perfect view of city scenery or the mountain scenery, but
Now wait a second, what is going on here? I guess the boat trip allows people to have a different view of the world. If you have a view of something, well, I mean, it could be like your opinion, although it could also literally be what you are looking at. To have a different view. Yeah, okay.
different view of the world, it can offer the perfect.
What is this? It can offer something. There's some sound. What is that word?
It can offer
Offer up? I don't know.
the perfect view of city scenery or the mountain scenery.
Alright, scenery. Perfect. Perfect view of scenery. But the scenery is the view. So it can offer the perfect scenery. We don't need the view part. It's the same thing. It can offer the perfect scenery or mountain scenery. Although then you're using the word scenery twice.
But for the rest, including me, I don't think so.
You don't think what? What? I'm not sure about this last sentence. So he doesn't think it's true, or he doesn't think it doesn't think it's for him. I'm not clear on what. I don't think this is for me.
Including me, I don't think so.
So even though this is true, it's not for me. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. Have you ever traveled on a boat? Number 2.
Well, actually,
Whoa.
I haven't done anything like that before. Actually,
Again with the actuallys. People relax with the actuallys. You don't need to start every sentence with actually.
I'm not the type of person that's like pretty good at swimming. As you probably know,
Wait, what? Have you ever traveled by boat? Well, I think people travel by boat so they don't need to swim, right?
as you probably know, I'm a bit scared of water.
How would I know that? No, the examiner doesn't know that.
Seriously, like the river.
Why seriously? No one thinks that you're kidding.
Or the sea, as the fear of water definitely drives me crazy in most cases.
I think this guy uses this phrase too much. Everything drives him crazy. The fear of water definitely drives me crazy in most cases.
Apparently, I don't like to give the try of traveling by boat.
Apparently, but if something appears to be a certain way, that means that's the way it seems to you. If you are talking about things that you yourself do, like you don't like, what don't you like? You don't like traveling by boat. That's not anything that appears a certain way to you. This is your feeling. This is not the right way to use, apparently.
The try of traveling by boat as such, but
And also, what is going on here? I don't like to give the try. Oh, okay. I don't like to give traveling by boat a try. I don't like to give traveling by boat a try.
traveling by boat as such, but in the future, I'm willing to learn how to be like a good swimmer and overcome the problems of the fear.
But, okay.
The fear of water, what I mean is like that.
Just adding this doesn't make it any clearer.
So this is like kind of my point, so that's it.
Okay.
Have you ever traveled by boat? Yes, of course. I've been to many coastal cities where boating is a common way of traveling.
Oh my god, it's so loud now. It's a common way. There's no sound. Common way.
And also, I've traveled by some fancy cruises to other countries like Japan and Korea. And each boat
Okay, let's continue.
and Korea
Oh, wait, what did she say here? Coastal cities, yeah.
is a common way of traveling. And also, I've traveled by some fancy cruises to other countries like Japan and Korea.
You don't travel by cruises. You can travel by cruise ship. Travel by, well, although, like you can say you travel by car, you travel by plane, travel by train. Travel by cruises. That's like saying you travel by car journey. No. Here you should put the method of transportation. So I've traveled by some fancy cruise ships. I've taken cruises, but I've traveled by cruise ships.
And each boat trip has left me a great and deep impression.
I hear this sentence so much. I wonder if this is true for half the people who use this sentence.
Do you like boats? Well, it's hard to say if I like it or not. I see boats as a way of transportation, but not like cars or bikes. It's something I can use in my daily life.
I don't understand what this means. I see boats as a way of transportation, but not like cars. It's something I can use in my daily life. So why can you not use cars or bikes in your daily life? How is that different?
Bikes is something I can use in my daily life. If I have a chance to travel by boat, I will take it. However, I have never been longing to ride a boat.
The longing idea is pretty good, but maybe she should say, I've never longed to ride a boat. I've never been longing. No, I've never longed. We don't need the present perfect continuous for this.
Would you like to have your own boat? Actually, no. Since I live in inland part of China, I seldom have chances to ride a boat.
Now, hang on a second. What is going on here? Because earlier she said, it's something I can use in my... Oh, maybe here she was talking about the cars and the bikes. Okay. See, this is not clear. It. Does that refer... Also, it should be there, maybe. So if you just use pronouns, it's not clear. What does the pronoun refer to? Does it refer to the... Because in English, you would guess that the pronoun refers to the noun that was mentioned earlier. And the nouns mentioned earlier would be cars and boats. From the context, there's nothing to indicate to me that it's not that. But, okay, so here it starts to make sense now, okay.
In part of China, I seldom have chances to ride a boat.
Okay.
Besides, boats need daily maintenance.
Maintenance. Boats need boats need daily maintenance.
Which is something I don't think I'm capable of.
Okay, there's some good grammar here, even though she mispronounced a couple of words. So it's tied together nicely. Besides, telling us that it's an additional reason. Here she introduced the first reason, since, blah, 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 first reason. Besides, blah, 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 second reason. And we have a relative pronoun, capable of. Nice phrase. Okay, so the language here is pretty good.
Capable of. So to me, owning a boat is more of the trouble than the pleasure.
Oh, but then in the last sentence she says this. So to me, owning a boat is more trouble than pleasure. You could say that. It's not very common though. But you could say, so to me, owning a boat is more trouble than pleasure. But usually what people would say is, owning a boat is more trouble than it's worth.
Is Boattrip popular in your country?
Why is this again singular? Are boat trips popular in your country?
It depends on different areas, actually. In some coastal cities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Sanya, boating is quite popular since there are rivers, lakes, or sea.
Okay, notice the rising intonation, rivers, lakes, or sea, and then falling on the last item.
But in most of the inland cities like Beijing, Xi'an, and Chengdu, and so on, it is not quite popular. Instead, people use buses, subways, and bikes more often for daily commute.
Notice the intonation, up, up, down on the last one. For daily commute. Good. Grammar is good. Language is good. Cohesion, good. Pronunciation, not bad.